Hello, friends. My name is Pradeep Gupta, and I am teaching at EduFly Visas Kurukshetra. Before this, I have posted two earlier videos on writing task 2. One was on agree and disagree, and the other was on discuss type of essay. Now, in both these videos, I had mentioned that writing is just on 4 parameters. And out of those 4 parameters, I'm going to cover 2 parameters today, which are vocabulary, or we can even call that lexical resources, and grammar. And for grammar, I had explained that grammar does not mean that your is and are right and your subject verb agreement is right. It also means that you have to use a range of sentences. That means you have to use compound sentences, complex sentences, and passive sentences. Only then will you get marks in your grammar section. So today I've come up with a video in which I'm going to give you a certain vocabulary which is very common. Otherwise, vocabulary in your band descriptors, it is written. It should be topic vocabulary. So topic vocabulary is something which is related to the topic. So if you're talking about, say, government, we say state, we say authority, like that. For other keywords in your essay, you have to write synonyms. That is very important. But over and above that, you can also write certain common vocabulary, which I refer to as potato vocabulary, which can be used very easily in any topic. So today we are going to do vocabulary, and we are going to see how we can write complex and compound sentences. Okay, so on your screen you have this vocabulary and complex compound sentences explained. So I mentioned about potato vocabulary. So let's see what this vocabulary is. The first one is for damaging. Damaging is okay, normal vocabulary. We can use detrimental. So detrimental, or we can use deleterious. If you have to write something which is damaging in an essay, you can use all three of them. So that this is going to give you marks, because this topic vocabulary you will be rephrasing in synonyms, with synonyms. Now detrimental is something which is not good. So you can say smoking is detrimental to health. So that way we can write detrimental. Now opposite of damaging is helpful. Now helpful, we have beneficial and we have rewarding. So beneficial, exercising, doing exercises, beneficial for health. So that way. So beneficial also can be used in almost all the essays, because you have advantages, disadvantages essay, you have agree, disagree essay, you have discuss essay in which you have to talk about the benefits and drawbacks. So these vocabulary you can use in all the writing tasks too. Now third is very important, something which is very important. So this is a very good vocabulary word, indispensable. So something which is very, very important. Significant, this is also a vocabulary word, so you can use significant, but try to use indispensable. Okay, and normally there is a spelling mistake of students I see. They write SIBLE. So be careful, it's SABLE. Okay, so very important. Now, if there is a person who is weak, who is at risk, then this vocabulary is very, very good. Vulnerable. Vulnerable. Vulnerable means you are more susceptible to something. Susceptible is again, or you are weak, you are at risk. So you have less resistance for it. So all these we explain vulnerable. Okay, next one is certain. If you're certain that something is going to happen, so then you can use inevitable. It is sure to happen. So like to make you fully understand, death is inevitable. If you're born, you have to die. So everybody, this is a cycle. So death is inevitable. It will come. So, but in other cases, we can say if students do not work hard in their studies, it is inevitable that they will not perform very well in the board exams. So inevitable, you can use it that way. Now result. The last one is result. So for result, we have repercussion. This again is a vocabulary which I see can be used in almost all topics. If you have taken certain step, so there has to be an effect of that. There has to be a consequence of that. And the vocabulary word consequence is also good, but repercussion. What is the repercussion of government taxing? So that way, what is the repercussion? So I am, introducing this vocabulary because apart from your topic vocabulary, you can use these also to enhance your score in vocabulary section. Now let's next go on to how to make complex and compound sentences. So these are made out of conjunctions. As you, many of you will be knowing, conjunctions are a part of speech. They are like nouns and verbs and adjectives, and they help in joining clauses and sentences. Let's forget clauses is also a sentence. Okay, it has a noun, it has a subject and a verb, and sentences. So there are two types of conjunctions. One is coordinating conjunction. This joins two sentences of equal rank, meaning two simple sentences. If we join, then we can join them with a coordinating conjunction. Let us take an example. Ram is studying and Shyam is playing. Shyam is playing and Ram is studying. So now we use a conjunction. This is and. Like Ram is studying and Shyam is playing. So these two simple sentences have been converted into a compound sentence. So a compound sentence is made by using coordinating conjunctions. This you did not have to remember for IELTS. Just I want to explain how we make compound sentences. So there are many coordinating conjunctions. Okay? Many coordinating conjunctions. But I want you to concentrate on the following three, because you just have to write 250-word essay. In that we have to include our passive sentence, simple also. Then so if you can write two compound sentences, good enough. And is normally used, so that will make a complex sentence in any case. So what I want you to use are not only but also, therefore, or so, and otherwise. So not only but also is like there are two qualities you have to describe, and they are of similar nature. So you can say that Ram is not only good in studies but also in sports. So this is considered to be a good way of writing a compound sentence. And then you have therefore. Therefore and so in Hindi means isliye. So something happens, and because of that something happens, you say isliye, right? And then otherwise. Otherwise is varna. In Hindi, otherwise is varna. So, and to take that example, that students should work hard, otherwise they are likely to, not do very well in their board exams. Okay. Now, for therefore, we can say when students work hard, therefore those students who work hard, therefore they do well. So, therefore means isliye. So now let us move on to another type of conjunction, which is subordinating conjunction. So earlier we had done coordinating conjunction, and this is subordinating conjunction. Coordinating makes compound sentences, remember, and subordinating conjunctions, they make complex sentences. And what is the quality of this conjunction? It joins a principal or a main clause to one or more subordinate dependent clauses. Now, let's take an example. They rested when evening came. This is a complex sentence. So, somebody, may think that complex means writing a long sentences. No, such a short sentence, and it's a complex sentence. Why? Because this can be divided into two parts. One is they rested, and the other is when evening came. So now they rested is a perfect sentence because it has a subject, which is a pronoun, and it has a verb. So this is a main sentence. This is a main clause. But when evening came, now if you tell somebody when evening came, there will be a counter question. What do you mean when evening came? So this is known as a subordinate clause or a dependent clause. This will get its meaning from the main clause. So when you say they rested when evening came, you understand. Otherwise, when evening came is a subordinate clause. So now, like compound complex sentences, they are made by using subordinate conjunctions. Now there are a plethora of subordinating. Plethora means there are a whole lot of conjunctions you can use to make complex. But the use of the following basically will serve our purpose. So I have picked out the ones which we can make quite easily. Okay, and I'll show you how. So we have because, क्योंकि, if, अगर, although, हालांकि. So I think you should be knowing mean हालांकि. हालांकि वो है हालांकि. Okay. Despite is बावजूद के. They can be used almost interchangeably. And so that is ताकि. So that is, I'll explain when I make a sentence ताकि. And then you have the W family. All the members of the W family, they are conjunctions and they are subordinate conjunctions. And they are who is used for people, which is used for things and animals, when is used for time, where is used for place, and while is used to show a contrast. So now that we know that how we can make compound and complex sentences and what vocabulary we can use, I assure you that if you adopt this in your writing, you are likely to increase your score by at least 1 band, because this is given in the band descriptors, and a very easy way I'll show you how we can make these sentences for almost any topic. Now let's come to the topic today. The topic is the government should tax sugary drinks. I'm not taking a very big one like discuss or agree disagree. I'm just taking a statement. The government should tax sugary drinks. Out of this, we are going to use a vocabulary, we are going to use complex and compound sentences. First of all, when we have to write, you have to brainstorm, you have to think about ideas. So ideas are normally simple ideas we make. So like sugar makes people unhealthy. So unhealthy is a topic vocabulary in this case. Unhealthy is a topic vocabulary. You are talking of taxing, so unhealthy will be a topic vocabulary. Now, second is people gain weight from sugar. Of course, they gain weight because a lot of carbohydrates. Sugar harms people's teeth. Excess of sugar may cause diabetes. Diabetes is when you have sugar problem, excess sugar problem. The government is responsible. Now, this is again a topic vocabulary, responsible. If we are talking of government, so responsible word surely comes because government is responsible for people's welfare. Obese people, obese is again a topic vocabulary because you're talking of sugary drinks which make people obese, like we said earlier. So, obese people should stay away from sugary drinks. They should stay away. Tax on sugary drinks will discourage its use. If you tax something, it will become more costlier. So people might start, substituting it for something cheaper or maybe not consume it. And sugar contains large quantity of carbohydrates. So for any topic, we can make such type of simple sentences. Now you should become, encouraged, because if you have a few ideas, 3-4 ideas, you can easily make a paragraph. So let's move on to how we will make these compound and complex sentences. So let's take the compound sentences first. Now compound sentences, you very well know what conjunctions we have to use. Now sugar not only makes people obese, so not only makes people obese, mota banati hai, but it is also detrimental to their teeth. So now I have used conjunction not only but also, and I have used detrimental, and detrimental के बाद जो preposition है, it has to be to. So please remember this. It has not detrimental of or detrimental for, it is detrimental to. So in this I have used the vocabulary and I have used the conjunction. Now, next is tax by the government can be beneficial for the society, and therefore both are conjunctions should be imposed. और इसलिए इम्पोज होना चाहिए क्योंकि it will be beneficial for the society. So here again we have used the vocabulary word beneficial, and we have used this coordinating compound sentence we have made because we have used this and we have used and. The next one is keeping or staying away from sugary drinks is indispensable for diabetic patients. So for diabetic patients, it is really very important that they do not consume sugary drinks. They do not have sugar in excess. So very important means indispensable. So I have used this vocabulary. Now people suffering from diabetes are more vulnerable to many ailments. So here, this is a simple sentence. It is very big, but it is simple. Now you should understand because I have not used any conjunction here, but we have used the word vocabulary vulnerable. So people suffering from diabetes, they are more at risk. They are more vulnerable to many ailments. Ailments are diseases like blood pressure and heart problems. Now, the harmful effects of sugary drinks are inevitable. So this is again a simple sentence, but are inevitable. So the harmful effects of having a lot of sugar, they are about to happen. So they are sure to happen. This means they are inevitable. So this again we have used this vocabulary. Now children should stay away from foods with high sugar content. Okay. Otherwise, varna, they may suffer from obesity and tooth problems. So I don't think we have the tooth problems, we have and tooth problems. So otherwise we made it a compound sentence. Now the adverse repercussions. So adverse are negative. Negative. Adverse means negative. Repercussions is a vocabulary word, natija, effect of should be avoided. They should be avoided. That's why parents advise their children not to have too many chocolates or too many sugary drinks after a certain age. Okay, now we have done the compound sentences. Now let's go to the complex sentences. So in complex sentences, we have to use the conjunctions which we discussed earlier. So the government should tax sugary drinks. This D has to be small, sugary drinks, because kyonki they can be detrimental to people's health. So not only have we used conjunction because, we have also used the vocabulary detrimental. So we score on both the counts. Now if the government, if is a conjunction, if the government taxes sugary drinks, अगर government tax करती है, its consumption might decrease. Its consumption, of course, could decrease. And this is another thing which I'll wish to point out, that you should use these hedges. Hedges means you should not write its consumption will decrease. Will is a very strong word. You should always avoid this. You should say can, might. These are known as hedges. So it's always better, not to make a very strong statement. Although is a conjunction, although halaki, sugary drinks make people vulnerable to obesity. Vulnerable means weak. So people who take sugary drinks, they are more at risk to become obese. So they still consume it. Although it makes them, well, in society we see that people are still having it. Okay, so sugary drinks contain excessive carbohydrates, which is W family, which I am using for carbohydrates. So which can make people obese. So whenever you write a sentence, I tell my students the last word of a sentence, see whether if it's a person you can expand that sentence to write who. If it's a commodity or animal, you can use which, or even a city. And which. Now, excess of sugary drinks are more harmful for people who lead a sedentary lifestyle. So excess, they'll be more harmful for people. What we have to describe what sort of people. So we use who, and it becomes a complex sentence. Who lead a sedentary lifestyle. Sedentary lifestyle is a lifestyle in which you are not doing any exercises and you're sitting on the chair for almost your office time. So that is known as sedentary. This is again a topic vocabulary when you are talking about people getting obese and things like that. Now there are three more. Despite again, like although, despite adverse repercussions of excessive sugar intake, children eat a lot of chocolates because of taste. So despite बावजूद के there are adverse repercussions. This is a vocabulary word, repercussions, and children eat a lot of. Now because is again like despite, it is a conjunction. So this is known as double complex sentence. You have used two double complex. We have used two subordinate clauses. Okay, now the government has opened up or set up open gyms in public parks so now we are using so that taki, so that people can exercise more. And now we are talking about exercise, which is, so we have used which is indispensable for the health. So see, I have used the vocabulary word indispensable, and I have used two conjunctions, dependent clauses, dependent conjunctions, so that and which. Now last we have when again is from W family. When people become careless about sugar intake, वो परवाह नहीं करते, it is inevitable, ये निश्चित है that they will suffer. So students, today I have tried to make you understand the importance of writing vocabulary and also writing complex and compound sentences. I hope you are going to get help from this video, and I want you to try one. I want you to try one prompt I'm going to give, and on your own you can use the same vocabulary and the same conjunctions to build up compound and complex sentences with a dose of vocabulary. So this is plastic goods should be banned. Now you can write some simple sentences for this and then convert them into complex and compound sentences using the vocabulary. So thank you very much, and in next video I am going to come up with something which will be very useful for you. Thank you.